Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew. I will be representing Team Arctic today from Digipen Singapore and showcasing our game Kindred, which is developed as part of a school project. So some details about the game and the project. Kindred was developed on a custom game engine over the time frame of about 9 months, with pre-production starting in the prior semester, followed by 2 semesters worth of development. It was done as part of Digipen Singapore's GAM 300 or 350 module, which is basically our junior level project with 3D games. And it was done with a team of 11 full-time students that were juggling other classes during this development as well. So I'll be showcasing the multi-talented team behind this project. Most of them are in the call with us. So once again, I'm Andrew. I was the team's producer. Next up, we have Jian, who is our creative lead. For the tech side, heading the tech team is Yong, my technical lead. Victor, my tools programmer. Brosnan, my physics and collision programmer. Cheng, my graphics and rendering programmer. Next up, design team will be Jonathan, my design lead, and Adrian, which is my mechanics and gameplay designer. And finally, our art team. This is led by Cassandra, our art lead, Hakim, our environment artist, and Irsyad, our animator. Unfortunately, I believe that Cassandra, Irsyad, and Jian are unable to be here today, but I believe that most of my other team should be in the call with us at this moment. So what is Kindred? Basically, it is a narrative-focused game based in 90s Singapore, where players take on the role of father and son as they revisit old memories and embark on a journey of kindred love, sacrifice, and duty. And now I'll be jumping straight into the trailer.
Eh? You're finally back. How come today so late? You didn't tell me that you were coming home late. Hey, oi, got hear me or not? Don't talk back at me. I think you better listen to me and stay at home.
This is not a home! Dad? Not again. Where did he go this time? Whoa. What is this place? Where is he? Am I in a dream?
You know where am I? I'm trying to find my way home. Wait, is that? Where am I?
Dad? Let's go home.
Okay, and that's the end of our trailer. And I'll actually just be jumping straight into the gameplay demo. So the gameplay demo is actually pre-recorded and we cut out some segments in the interest of time. So I'll actually be doing a commentary over it, so I'll just be lowering the volume. Okay, so as I said before, Kindred is a narrative-focused game with some minor platforming and
I had a lot of things to do at work.
I waited for you to come back, you know.
You can even notice the
you didn't tell
Sorry,
me
Andrew. When the dialogue hop happens, I can't hear you clearly.
I did call back earlier, remember?
I'll just lower the volume a bit more.
You did?
Okay, can you hear?
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, so as I was saying, there's a lot of narrative focus on this game. Alongside the dialogue, there are prompts that can give you contextual information.
Not as good as how your mom used to make it last time.
Enrich the backstory and reveal more about characters.
Later.
I thought you like to eat that. At least eat a few bites lah. The food is on the table, inside the kitchen.
So we'll just be playing out this, the beginning section of the game. It's a little bit of exposition about the father and son's relationship.
You want me to heat up the food for you?
Sorry, lower a bit. Yeah, thank you.
Boiling water? The water is spilling out everywhere already.
Huh? What? Boiling water? Hey, can you help me switch off the stove? I think I must have forgotten.
Oh my, this is getting really dangerous.
Maybe the radio too loud. I cannot hear.
Hey, don't boil the water, alright? Next time just leave it to me.
And yeah, so these are just some examples of the contextual prompts in the scene.
Hey, why you never eat?
I had a long day and I'm tired, alright?
Can you at least eat first before you go to sleep?
Yeah, he just goes to sleep. Okay.
Hey, oi, got hear me?
So after the sun's nap, something has changed.
What was
and
that?
Not all is
Why is the kettle boiling
correct
again?
in this bowl. It's a bit off.
Where is he?
And unfortunately, the father has disappeared. So yeah, the son will now be beginning his search of his father.
Oi, are you in your room?
At this point in time, we'll be introducing the main mechanic of the game, which is the corruption and cleansing mechanic.
What's happening?
So these corruptions serve as obstacles in the game, and the player can cleanse them away. And this is the review of our first level.
What is this place?
As you can tell, the art team especially wanted to blend this very surreal fractured greenscape element with very typical Singapore architecture. So as you can see here, there's a lot of Singapore roads and shelters, and of course the very iconic HDB. Okay, so to carry on with the main mechanic of cleansing, the corruption that you see here affected on this staircase is actually a different variation of it. And these guys serve as platforms for you to traverse deeper into the level. Naturally, there will be many different forms of this corruption in the world, and we are just showcasing a couple of them here and there. Okay, so something you guys may notice is that our corrupted objects have a little bit of a strange look to them. Basically, it's the work of tessellation shader, courtesy of our very talented graphics programmer Weng. And it gives each object a very surreal look and texture that can kind of make it very interesting to look at.
Dad? What is this?
So as the son speaks to the father,
I don't know.
or rather,
I want to go home.
a phantom of the father, he discovers that something isn't right, and so he continues his journey to bring his father home. And now we'll be jumping to another perspective and playing as the father in another level.
20 years. At least
Yeah. So likewise with the first level, there is a very nice blending of dreamscape and Singapore architecture here. As you can see, the bus stop and the shop houses. And if you guys don't know, the building that's right up ahead right now is actually the Tong A building at Sheng Road. I may have butchered that entirely, but yeah. So yeah, we wanted to include a lot of iconic Singapore landmarks here. Carrying on with the iconic landmarks, up ahead you will also see a fractured version of the Elgin Bridge, and just after that is the Fort Canning Gate, if you all can see. So yeah, so this corruption thing that he's cleansed now is also one more form of corruption, one more variation of corruption that we have in our game. There was a lot of emphasis on lighting and ambience and sound design here to kind of bring the immersion up for the player and to capture the essence of olden Singapore. So here we'll be listening in on an old memory, and this is scattered throughout the game.
Can I get 2 set meals and... Hey,
it showcases the characters, or in this case the father's struggle,
never mind. Then, one sec.
and gives more context to the story of how he tried to bring up his son.
Why are you not eating?
I'm not hungry.
Okay, so this is now a bit further on, and this is the same Fort Canning Gate you have seen previously. So as the father enters this alleyway, there's a very abrupt change in ambience.
Where am I?
The lighting, the font, the music changes. We wanted to emulate the feeling of confusion and being lost in an environment that you find familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on it. So actually, that's the end of our gameplay demo. Apologies, we couldn't show you more in the interest of time. So next up, I wanted to talk about the tools used to develop this. As mentioned before, the game was developed on a custom engine. It was done completely in C++ with minimal external libraries. We also integrated C# support for developing gameplay scripts for easier development of the gameplay mechanics. The picture you see right here on the screen is actually the Kindred level editor, where we used to create all the levels and basically the experience you see just now. I also want to show some very early concepts of level design to show you how far we've come. This was a very, very early concept of our first level, and the mechanics of corruption with the purple objects are there, and as well as the leaf. The leaf is very iconic. We wanted to bring it all the way to our final product. Lastly, just something from the art team, I wanted to show you also a very, very early concept of the main character and how they've kind of iterated and tried to choose a very Singaporean look and feel of a middle-aged person. So just before I wrap up, I wanted to talk about our motivations and inspirations that drove this project. I think that everyone here can relate to relationships with our family and loved ones, and they aren't always smooth sailing. And in some extreme cases, we nurse grudges for a very long time. And in Kindred, we wanted to explore this topic of family, of duty and sacrifice. And basically, the key concept would be filial piety. I hope I pronounced that correctly, which is basically a hallmark of traditional Asian mindset, of Asian parenting style, of Asian culture. And so, yeah, that's basically one of the key focus here. We also wanted to discuss some other real issues, such as dementia. That is a bit more prevalent in older folk, as well as the burdens and difficulties of caring for someone that who's been so close to you for your entire life, but yet feels so foreign to you at the same time. Yeah. So that does it for the showcase of Kindred. If you want to play yourself, it's being hosted on the Digibank Games Gallery at this link. Before we go on the Q&A, I wanted to just give my entire team a shout out. Here are all their portfolios and profiles, without which none of this project could be done. I'll also be dumping the entire thing into chat for easy accessibility. So just give me a second. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so one comment. This team alone is bigger than the average made in Singapore indie game team. So, but I guess in a way to phrase the question, like, how was it like working with such a big team? Like, who do you designate what to, and like in terms of decision-making process, how does it work?
So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with DigiPen Singapore, but basically there are some very key degree programs in our school. So there's basically the RTIS, which is the engineering guys. They do pure engineering. So those guys are my technical team. And then we have myself and Hui Jian, who are BSGD. So we are hybrids of programmers and designers. So we kind of did everything that in between, creative lead, leading the project, etc. And BAGD, which were pure designers, and BFAs, which were artists. So this was a very clear separation of the team, and within those, we kind of let each programmer and each lead kind of decide who would kind of work on what. For example, I myself, alongside my producer duties, I also worked on the editor as well as gameplay design once I was done with that. Yeah.
Okay. I think Christopher asked how long was the project in total?
So as mentioned, I said 9 months, but I think some DigiPen graduates might be like raised the eyebrow at that. So it is actually over a course of 2 semesters, which is usually like 6 months, give or take. But I said 9 months because I added on prior semesters work. So we did a lot of pre-production in the prior semester, throwing out a lot of prototypes and talking with the team about what they wanted to achieve, as well as some early engine foundations. And then due to the COVID situation as well, we were given a little bit of an extension after our semester ended. So that gave us a little bit more time to polish the game and just make it overall better experience.
Okay. Someone asked, is there a reason you picked purple color for the dreamscape? Is it based on personal experience or?
I think it was more of an artistic choice, although I would kind of hand that over to my artist, Hakim. Do you have anything to say on this topic?
谁是你的 art team? I need to unmute.
His name is Hakim.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's in the chat right now.
Yeah, I see Hakim.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Maybe you want to give some.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason why we chose purple is to make it like really stand out in the scene, as well as make it seem very foreign and seem like sort of out of place to draw the player's attention, as well as bring a form of like something that's not really like it doesn't really fit into the world. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before I move on?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so next question. Any context on how the main character is able to see and interact with the corruption that you're talking about?
Okay, so I would have, usually I'll pass this on to Hui Jian, my narrative designer / creative lead, but he's not here at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't give you a very in-depth answer on this, but basically the idea was that the obstacles serve as points of pain between the father and son, and obviously we have to try to tie in the core mechanics with the gameplay. So, I would say that some of the stuff that you see, such as the platforms, maybe hold much lesser significance than, say, the corruption in a very early stage of the demo in the father's room, where obviously, the son feels very strongly about the father in a very negative sense. So that kind of represents things, but I will admit that not all instances of the corruption have such narrative significance.
Okay. Then there are a few people who like the father's voice acting is very on point.
You can give credit to our Digipen lecturer, Andy Tan. He was very, very helpful in this project.
Okay, give me a moment. Okay, any reason why you decided to develop this game using your own engine as opposed to like using an existing one like Unreal or Unity?
So before I pass this question on to my technical lead, the thing about Digipen Singapore is that they hold a lot of regard for doing your own things, and I'm sure any Digipen grad will know. But in recent years, there's even been talk about banning people completely from using commercial engines. But yeah, so I'll pass it on to Chun now. Chun, can you hear us?
Hello, sir.
I think, does he need to be unmuted? Or?
No, he's already unmuted, so I'm... Hello, Chun. Beijing, Beijing.
No, he's there, but...
Like, is the mic,
he said he's not unmuted.
Oh, he's not unmuted?
Yeah.
I'm unable to unmute or unmute him, I think his mic input is not in.
Hello.
Okay.
Hi, yeah. So as Andrew has mentioned previously, one of the requirements for our game project this time around was to have to build the game in a custom engine. And so to a certain extent, it wasn't a decision that we made on our own. It was to kind of match the requirements set by the school. Yeah. But I think working on a custom engine was definitely a very good experience because especially for like building systems up from scratch, right? Like graphics, physics, our core systems like memory management, C#. I think a lot of these systems definitely helped our tech team grow their existing skill set, and I think it was a fantastic experience. Yeah, especially when we are given the chance to develop this custom engine in school, where there's like where the only resource that we need to manage is our time. We're not managing budgets or what. So I think it was a very good experience. Yeah.
Okay, So we are out of time. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact them directly. Okay? Do not send them creepy stuff. Okay, so we will move on to the next person. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, next person will be Zach.